It's a busy season for CAF, not just group stage now, but the AFCON around the corner as well.
I mean, I think African football is enjoying unprecedented success. And I think, obviously, all these things come at the back of a very successful AFCON, which has really transformed and changed the face of African football forever. And I think we are on a path that is not just exciting, it's a journey that is inspiring for all of us as Africans to see our football finally. I mean, we've always known African football is exciting as fans, as people who are Africans. But we've also known that African football doesn't get its fair share in the commercial world before. This has changed under the leadership of Dr. Patrice Motsepe. And I think we have to look at the growth of Interclub. In Sub-Sahara, we achieved a growth of about 35% in TV audiences. In the MENA region, we achieved a growth of 40%. These are not just sentiments. This is the market responding to a product that is competitive, that is strong. Again, we cannot discard the importance of what AFCON has done. The game between South Africa and Nigeria being one of the biggest games in the global football. Bigger than any game here in South Africa, by the way, with you guys. I know you guys are, sometimes people talk about the importance of the EPL. If you look at the numbers of Nigeria, South Africa, it dwarfs any other game in the last 10 years of the EPL. It shows that the Africans are interested in themselves, you know? And I think the Interclub has been a success story. Today, CAF has given the Interclub a new facelift, as you can see. This is in line with the vision of our CAF president of always making African football globally competitive. He pushes us 18 hours a day to improve, to give the world not second best, but the best. And you can see today that we launched a new look here in South Africa of the CAF Champions League, Total Energies CAF Champions League. We've also launched a new look of the Total Energies CAF Confederations Cup. A new look is not just about nice logos. It's a symbol to say that you are moving towards a certain direction.
I wanted to also ask, obviously on the back of the group stages now, we've been reading a lot of reports about complaints about this ineligibility of players, of coaches. How confident are you that obviously CAF has got this under control, and what's the latest, if any, on the reports around clubs wanting to make their way back because of ineligibility of any sort?
Well, I mean, the first thing I can do, first of all, is to confirm that, of course, we are aware of this. These complaints and protests and whatever have been received by CAF, and they are being processed through the competent structures, the judicial structures at CAF. There is one part which is being processed through the judicial processes, which we have to respect because they are all independent. Then there is administrative side which has to deal with the status quo as it is. And right now we are dealing with the status quo as it is. If and when, we will be guided by what the judicial bodies do. When, I don't know. How, I don't know. What, I don't know. It's independent process that is happening, and we respect and we create this wall between the administrative side and the judicial bodies that exist. So we cross that bridge when we get to it.
To bring the fans at the stadium. I've seen the Chiefs game and Pirates game playing at the same time in Soweto. Is there any plan maybe in future, for CAF to change the times? Maybe
yeah, I mean,
at 3 and 1 at 8.
Once you go to the Champions League group stages, is different. CAF has a bigger say in. As you know, that the prelims are mainly run by the clubs, and they set the times and everything else. The group stages are different. The CAF is more involved, as it is in Europe, by the way, whereby in the group stages, UEFA is more involved in setting the times. UEFA, it's not an African thing. If you go to Europe as well, they have the same challenges. They've had the same challenges, whereby sometimes in the prelim stages, the qualifying stages, this club wants to play at 6 o'clock, that club wants to play at 5 o'clock. But in the group stages, CAF has more say in what happens. So obviously, those things, we've never seen them in the group stages in the last 5 years, so I don't think it's something we should worry about at all.
I think that you are talking a lot about how African football is growing, audience, markets, everyone is keen on it. But then we also know that we still have a long way to go in terms of clubs, even in terms of discipline, being cordial, perhaps to each other. How far are we in trying to create structures that help clubs, so that come match day, we know that we've got clean football and not off the field antics going onto the field?
Look, I mean, in any society there will always be challenges. But I think sometimes as Africans, we focus so much on the negative things, we forget what is really happening on the ground that is so positive, that is actually driving growth and development in our parts of the world. Should those things happen, whereby there are antics and all, they've got no place in football anymore, by the way. I don't necessarily think you win football matches by doing that. And let's face it, I think that culture is really changed progressively in African football today. I'm sure there are pockets whereby it still happens, but is that the predominant story? It's 10%, maybe 5% of that. The predominant side is that of many clubs that are here. They know that this is business. I mean, if you win the Total Energies CAF Champions League, you get about 80 million rands. That's a life-changing thing, right? So I'm sure that everyone is competitive to try and get their hands on this 80 million rands. African football has really gone on this upward trajectory. And we need a media that supports this, that understands this. Of course, that asks the necessary tough questions, but that also understands the shared value that is involved. A successful CAF also leads to a successful media, because more partners, more people globally will want to consume your content. Who do they come to? They come to you because they are there on the ground.
50 days to AFCON. President Dr. Patrice Motsepe always says the next one's going to be the best one, but from what you've seen in Morocco in terms of infrastructure, facilities, what do you think is happening in the next edition?
Well, I've since relocated. I now live in Morocco myself. We have an office there. I'm one of the staff that lives in that office. We're working very closely with the Moroccans, our counterparts there, and also a lot of the people who are driving the AFCON. We are not sleeping. We're working 7 days a week. And I've been to all the stadiums. Actually, I went to the stadiums last week. I visited about 6 of the 9 stadiums. And there's so much that is happening there, by the way. There's so much positive energy. And if you see the infrastructure there, I'm telling you, the stadium that will host the opening match of AFCON is better than some of the stadiums you've seen in Qatar for the World Cup. I tell you the truth. You just need to go inside and see the finishing, the touches that are there. It makes me very proud to be African.
Oh, can I squeeze last one? I wanted to ask about the feedback that you've gotten from clubs with regards to that financial helping hand that you've given them. How much of a difference has that made?
I think what people sometimes tend to forget is that the CAF president is a former club owner. So he understands club football. CAF has never had a president who understands club football, the pains, the struggles, the difficulties of the past than Dr. Patrice Motsepe. Because in the past, before he became a CAF president, he was a club owner. So 2 years ago, if you played in the prelim stages of AFCON, of the Interclub, you got 0. Today, if you play in the prelim stages of the Total Energies CAF Champions League of Interclub, you are guaranteed almost R1 million of your traveling costs, logistics cost. It goes a long way. The net effect of it is this. You've seen an unprecedented number of entries, a record number of entries, over 130 clubs that have entered in the prelim stages of this competition. Because we all know that it's not just about playing football. African football, club football must be sustainable, must be commercially viable, and that's what our president brings at Dr. Motsepe in this space. The clubs have, including the African Club Association, have responded very positively, very excited. And not only is this money only the $100,000, but look at the fact that the prize money of interclub football has gone up by about 40% in the last 2 years of the competition. So the clubs are playing for something. It's no longer the days whereby the people saw it as an inconvenience. Instead, it's a step towards global dominance.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you.